Alright, hello and welcome to this video on how to make some better coffee with your Breville espresso machine. You guys might already own one of these machines or be looking to purchase one. You might be happy with the coffee you're making or you might not be, but hopefully these tips will, no matter what, help you improve the quality of the coffee that you're making at home with these machines. So let's fire this up here. The first tip that I've got, as you can see by how quickly this warmed up, I've cheated a little bit on this first tip for the sake of the video. But the first tip I have is to warm up, well, just about everything, including the machine itself. So this top platform here is heated and is used for keeping your drinks warm and even your mugs warm. So you guys might be letting the portafilter heat up, but the first tip I have to give is warm up your mug as well. And the way you can make this go a little bit quicker than heating it up on the top is to pour some hot water into it. So you don't need a lot, but just enough so that when the fresh espresso shot goes into your mug, it doesn't get shocked by the cold porcelain or whatever material mug you have at home. So first thing you should do is once your machine reaches temperature, fill up your mug with some hot water and place it on the top heating rack to get that nice and warm. The next thing is let the whole inside of the machine heat up, leave it for 5 minutes maybe, let it warm up, as well as have the portafilter locked in. So again, I've cheated a little bit, and you can see normally there's some condensation in here showing that it's nice and heated up. Again, you can cheat this a little bit if you are in a rush to make your coffee by simply running some hot water through the portafilter again. So I was just holding the single button there to let some water through. When I was finished, hit it again so that it doesn't go into the full brew cycle. So, now that those are done, I'm leaving those to heat up. I just grabbed a paper towel here so I can wipe down that portafilter. So, now that everything's heating up, we need to focus on the consistency of this shot, using this pressure gauge, using our beans. So, the key to that is to use a scale. Instead of filling up the hopper on top, we're going to measure our beans. That hopper is currently empty. And I found for me, the correct number is 17.5 grams. This scale is great. It goes down to 1 decimal place other than just the gram. I'll leave a link in the description to this if you want to pick one up for use. It'll really help with the consistency of your espresso brewing. You can see I'm going 1 bean at a time here. It does pay off to be that picky. I know it seems a little bit obsessive, but it really does help to keep it right in the dead center of that gauge. So I've got the right amount of beans now. I'm certain of that. This is now empty. So these are the only beans that are in the hopper now. So, like I said, I'm going to take this out. We've run our hot water through this. The portafilter is nice and warm. There's actually some water in there if you do that method. So you're going to want to grab a paper towel. And even if it's just been warming up in there, like I said, there'll be some condensation. So you want to give this a nice dry. So we've got a warm, dry portafilter. We're going to put this in. We're going to grind. I like to put my hands, give it a little tap. Giving it this tap kind of helps spread it out a little bit, make sure that none is stuck along the rim that'll drop off later. And you can see I've let approximately half of that grind in. So the reason I've let half of that go in is because I don't want this big heaping mound of coffee on top of this and have some of it accidentally fall off. We've measured it very accurately. I don't want to lose any by grinding it all at once. So what I'm going to do is give this little, what I call a little intermediate tamp, and it's not hard at all. You can see I'm just using 2 fingers here. Not a hard tamp whatsoever. But what it does is allows me to get the second half of the grind in there without it being that big heaping mountain. So there we go. This would have been a big pile before, and I might have lost some by accident if I didn't use that intermediate tamp there. but now I've got all the coffee in here nicely, spreading it out super evenly. You can see I was tapping the handle a bit as it was grinding to spread it out then as well. And we've got all of our ground coffee into this portafilter, exactly 17.5 grams in my case. Next, we're going to give it a tamp. I use this palm tamper for that final tamp for some added consistency. Again, I can leave this link in the description. Also available on Amazon. Fantastic. All right, so now we've got a beautiful puck of coffee in a heated portafilter. Our heated mug is waiting. The final thing that we're going to do is run the water out of the group head here to make sure no overheated water is getting into this. So just a little bit, doesn't have to be too much. We're going to empty out our hot water from our mug. And what we're going to do is immediately, once this is on, don't wait, immediately press that double shot. You don't want the hot group head heating up the coffee and burning it on top. So right on and right start the brew. There we go, that was quite good. So we're gonna pull this off, and the final thing that I wanna mention to you guys, you can take a peek at the coffee there, a great crema on top, very consistent. The final thing I wanna mention is more a feature of these machines rather than a tip. But if you like to drink Americanos like me, and you pour your double shot, and you're trying to gauge how much water you need, what you can actually do is simply turn this dial to the hot water setting and let it run. It will dose the perfect amount for an Americano for you. It'll stop itself, as you'll see in a couple seconds, and you really don't have to worry about guessing or measuring. I've seen people literally use measuring cups on this. The machine is smart enough, it will stop at a 1 cup amount. So there we go. Again, more of a feature of the machine than a tip, but not a lot of people actually know that the hot water actually will dose the amount for 1 cup. So the tips being, use a scale. I'll link this one in the description. Heat up everything before starting your brew, including the cup, including the portafilter. Make sure the portafilter is nice and dry. If you have a trouble with mounding in your coffee, use that intermediate tamp. Set it to single, even if it's a double shot. Give it a very light tamp in between so you don't get the big pile. And other than that, you should be on the road to making way, way better coffee. So I hope this was helpful for you guys. I'll link these 2 products in the description below, and I'll see you in the next video. Thanks a lot.